due to Mrs. Evers and the extended Evers family. You honor us with your presence, and I invite you all to remain an active part of your ship for many years to come. You are always welcome. May God bless this ship and the proud American mariners who will sail her in peace and war. Thank you all very much.
Department of the Navy, including recruiting, organizing, equipping, training, and mobilizing. Additionally, he oversees the construction and repair of Navy ships, aircraft, and facilities, and is responsible for the formulation and implementation of policies and programs consistent with the national security policies established by the President and the Secretary of Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the Secretary of the United States Navy, the Honorable Ray Mavis.
Thank y'all so much. Jim Gill, thank you for that introduction to our Navy leadership, Marine Corps, to Fred Harris and the team here at NASSCO. Thank you to all the Mississippians who I've seen in the audience. Thank you all for being here today to christen the USNS Medgar Evers. One of the big honors that we have today is that we have so many of this ship's namesake family with us. Particularly Merle Evers. Her daughter, the matron of honor, Rena. James Van Dyke Evers, son. Mayor Charles Evers. And Elizabeth Jordan, Medgar Evers' sister. You know, you've heard people far better acquainted with this than I am describe the T-AKE class. But this is truly, this type of ship is the glue that holds our Navy together. Allows us to maintain a worldwide forward presence by delivering ammunition, food, fuel, other cargo, U.S. and our allied ships and our Marines all around the world. They can carry almost 900,000 cubic feet of things like ammunition, with stores and food and repair parts, and over 1 million gallons of fuel. They've undertaken every type of operation that our Navy is involved in. They've served as forward staging bases for our forces performing anti-piracy efforts off Somalia. T-AKE-4, the Richard Byrd, treated over 11,000 medical and 4,400 dental patients in the Marshall Islands. These ships, like our whole Navy, are forward deployed and ready to do whatever the nation needs for them to do every single day. When President Obama appointed me Secretary of the Navy, we had the smallest fleet that we have had since 1916. Prior to 3 years ago, our average construction was less than 6 ships a year. Now we've doubled that rate. We are building 11 ships a year. And in addition, as Fred has said, to the T-AKE class, NASSCO has begun the construction of the mobile landing platform. And despite the current fiscal situation, despite our budget constraints, our shipbuilding plan still has the Navy increasing the size of our fleet. Especially with this fiscal situation, we have to get the right price and fair value for our shipbuilding dollars. And that's what we get from NASSCO. The only major ship construction yard on the west coast of the United States. 3,500 people who work here. And as Fred pointed out, every single T-AKE has taken less time to build and is cheaper than the one before it. And the Navy and America are getting truly great and incredible ships. It's the 13th T-AKE, but it has particularly special meaning for me. The Secretary of the Navy gets to do a lot of wonderful things. I get to interact with our sailors and Marines on a day-to-day basis. I got to watch the first basketball game played on the deck of an aircraft carrier last night, along with the President of the United States. One of the great things that a secretary gets to do is you get to name every single ship in the United States Navy. This is the first ship I got to name. It's the way we get to pay tribute to people and places that helped shape our nation, broken new ground, come to symbolize something special about us. T-AKE's namesake did every one of these things. I have admired Medgar Evers and all that he stood for most of my life. We were born a generation apart and a little over 60 miles from each other. But I didn't have to face what he and Merle and Charles and all Mississippians of color who were born in an age of discrimination and hostility and Jim Crow. The difference in Medgar and so many people of that generation was that they fought back. And they knew that the promise of America, the promise of our Declaration of Independence had not been redeemed for all Americans. Medgar Evers fought in World War II, in France and Germany. And he came home to fight for the inalienable rights of equality for everyone. He fought, but he fought in a principled and nonviolent way. He registered people to vote, he organized, he boycotted, and he investigated awful acts like the tragedy of Emmett Till. And like so many others who have fought for America, he paid the ultimate price. Medgar Evers gave his life freedom. And Medgar died, but those who loved him, inside his family and thousands outside, carried on that work. Merle, who he met at what is now Alcorn State University, carried on in so many ways while raising a wonderful family. She and her children helped fulfill his dream. Charles, elected the mayor of Fayette, the first African-American mayor of a racially mixed southern town since Reconstruction. Medgar's death prompted President Kennedy to ask for the first comprehensive civil rights bill. Medgar Evers was a trailblazer, and as a namesake of T-AKE 13, he will join other trailblazers like polar explorers, aviators, naval heroes, a doctor, a physicist. What he did, what he gave his life for, set people free. While African Americans were the main beneficiaries of his life and his work, in a real sense, he set us all free. His life was a mighty blow against the chains of racism that had bound us all for too long. His name, his life, and his work won't just be remembered. It'll be known all around the world as this ship services our fleet, our sailors, and our Marines for decades to come. What Medgar Evers symbolizes is what we as a nation firmly believe, because Americans have proven it again and again. One great person, one great idea can make an incredible difference. The idea is that he championed equal opportunity, freedom, equality, are the same ideals that the men and women in uniform today serve to protect all around the world. That is why we honored our veterans yesterday. That is why we honor Medgar Evers today. So, thank you, Medgar Evers. Thank you, Merle Evers. Thank you, Charles Evers, and thank you to the thousands and thousands of people whose names we do not know, but who fought for these ideals and gave their lives so that America could truly redeem the promise that is set forth in our Declaration. Godspeed, USNS Medgar Evers, and all those who sailed in her.